So good morning everyone. I would like to call upon Dr. Nandita Sethi ma'am to please come on the dais. Dr. Nandita Sethi, founder and MD, The Entrepreneur Zone. With about 30 years of professional experience, Dr. Nandita is a familiar face in academics, entrepreneurship, and startup circles. She has been an academician, administrator, mentor, advisor, entrepreneur, angel investor, and author in various avatars of her professional life. A doctorate in international economics, Dr. Nandita started off as a professor in economics in the top B schools, nurturing young talent for several years. I request ma'am to give her valuable insights.
So good morning, and we are still in the morning right now, and very glad to be here. Yeah. Can I just know, first of all, I'm glad to be here because I'm in the midst of academicians which I hold in high regard, and of all of that, I think school teachers are the most what should I say, the most toughest job that you deal with to nurture a child's mind at that stage. I think one of the most difficult jobs, so I'm honored to be amongst all of you. Let me just know, we are coming, audiences from different schools, am I right? And you come with the background of CBSE as well as international schools, IB, is that right? Okay, okay. So we have a mixed crowd, but most of the students who are here, you are from which classes? Okay, so I hear some 8th and 8th onwards also, right? What is that light behind? It's coming right on to us. Projector light, huh? Sorry? I can come down there. Yeah, I'll do that. I think that will be better. Okay, I'll just start off and then slowly I'll move amongst all of you. I'll try to make slow inroads into you. Okay? Yeah. So what am I here for? I think the 2 days of the boot camp has been interesting for all of you. Yes? So did you learn the business model, and I don't know what were the other topics, am I right? What were the other topics that you did? Sorry? Design thinking. And? Innovation. And? Sorry? Disrupt. How to disrupt, okay. So what I'm doing is today, might look a little boring. I wish I had done business model or something. But what I'm doing is, I'm trying to tell you what kind of funds and how funding is done. Because when you are in the innovation platform and you are disrupting things and you're trying to find innovative solutions, which starts right from school. And some of you may be having tinkering labs. How many of your schools have tinkering labs? Okay. Most of you have, okay? So there's a lot of tinkering that must be happening. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to show that once you tinker around and get into an innovation, then what are the kinds of funding that you should know of and get. Because any startup, I've been nurturing startups from 2015, believe me, every startup, big, small, at some point or the other needs funding. So that's the reason why funding becomes so very important, and almost everybody, like once you're done with the, the tinkering part, then after that, when you have to get into the product production, and you have to get into manufacture, or even if you have to get into prototype, you will always need funding, because even sometimes the prototypes are also very expensive. To make a prototype itself can be a couple of lakhs. So converting the idea into a prototype, converting the idea into a product, and then taking it to the market, commercializing it, it implies that there's a lot of money that has to go into it. So any startup, any innovation, anything which does not reach the market will never be known to the world. Okay? So the point is that at some point it has to reach the market. Okay? And I can give you at least one example from history that we all know of. For example, who invented the bulb? That's what we all think, because he was the first one who could get it to the market. So he was not the first one. There was somebody already had done this generation of electricity and the bulb. Not Tesla at that time, Thomas Alva Edison's time only. So I think if you Google, you will get it, the exact name I'm not recollecting. But he couldn't get it to the market. So if you keep an innovation at home, or you are unable to get it to the market, you will never get the credit of being the first one. And believe me, most of the innovators you see today, they are not the only ones who have done it. It's front and back, people are doing across the globe. But somebody who gets it to the market first, that's the person who gets the name of being an innovator. So Thomas Alva Edison was really not the first one. Same way, there are many other innovations like that. They didn't come out, so they could have done. This is a big world. Every point of time, there are, ideas are floating in everybody's mind. One thing, idea in the mind cannot be an innovation, okay, because everybody is getting those ideas in their mind. So the idea has to be put in a medium, okay. So when it's put in a medium or an expression, then only it can be safeguarded, or it can be patented, copyrighted. Some medium has to be there. Suppose you create a lyrics for a film, okay? You created the lyrics, somebody created the music, whatever it is. That music, that lyrics has to be copyrighted, okay? Or you create a product, it has to be patented. And then it goes to the market with protection, because it's patented, so that nobody can copy it. The day you apply for a patent, you are kind of safe. You become, the date of the application is the first date from where they start considering that somebody like this has applied for a patent or an innovation. Okay? Now, having said that, the topic for today is not on innovation, it's more on how do you get funding. But having said that, I'm very much open to you asking me questions. I'll be happy to answer any question in the innovation, design thinking, startup world, because that's where I work. So I'm more than happy. If you have questions outside of funding also, I'll be happy to take that. And you can stop me in between also, in case you have any question there and then.
One thing, ma'am, I just wanted to ask is, we have seen the Shark Tanks which are there.
Yeah.
We have seen the...
It's not on. Now you can take. He said 2 seconds. Yeah.
We have seen the Shark Tanks which are there, and for the startups, usually when they're starting up their business and there are people who fund them. How is it different, like now when we are listening to it? Is it the starters, how will you look into the starters, whether the product is good, or you give your inputs, which place and how they have to go to the market, and then the funding is done?
Done, okay. So what she's asking me is, how do you look at a startup for funding? I'm coming to that, okay? What are the things we look at? Everybody thinks that, oh, idea is great, it will get funded. No idea ever gets funded. It's not ideas which get funded, okay? So if you come up and tell any investor, I have a superb idea, he'll say, great, go ahead, make the product, then come back to me. And in fact, the investors, which are pure investors, if you call them, they won't even look at prototype also. They'll say, go to the market and then come to me. Because market is the final test of whether your product is accepted or not. But now it's a chicken and egg story. How do I go to the market? I need money. I need money to make the product, I need money to set up the factory, building, computer, whatever, assets, capital expenditure, working expenditure, all that. So there are different modes of reaching till there, okay, and that's what I've come here to talk, okay.
Ma'am, in 1854, Heinrich Goebel invented the bulb.
Sorry?
In 1854, Heinrich Goebel, a German, he invented the bulb. About 24 years earlier than Edison.
Okay, 24 years earlier than Edison, Thomas Alva Edison. Goebel, Goebel.
Yeah.
He also makes ceramic stuff. Same guy?
I don't know, ma'am, but I had a question. What if two patents are similar? Are both of them allowed to pass, or is only one?
If both are, sorry, I didn't get your question.
Similar.
Products. No, whoever applies for a patent first, okay, his innovation will be protected. I could have come first, but I didn't apply for a patent. So somebody else came with the same product and he applied. Then he is protected in the sense I cannot copy his invention, anything that he has made. Okay. So if I'm the first one also and I didn't apply, see, in products you have to apply for patent. And that also, everything is not patentable. You just come up with the idea and you put it for patent, it won't go through it. It has to be innovative, it has to, even if the product is there, if you have added a new step also to it, it can be patented. So that is intellectual property, that's a talk for another day. Yeah. I think if you have done it, okay, but you can see intellectual property rights are there. So, yes.
Ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
If we are still in an ideology state, if we have like a vision.
Idea stage.
Yeah.
Ideology becomes different.
Yeah,
okay.
If we are still in an idea stage and we even need a funding to make a prototype, will it be approved?
How will you do it? Coming to that. Okay.
Ma'am,
So-
I have a doubt.
Yeah. So coming to that, that's the topic today. But feel free to ask. So before we start any funding, we'll have to look at where does our search begin. Then we find finance, we bootstrap, we crowdfund. I'll give you all these terms. We look at family and friends, we look at debt, grants, angel investors, VCs, incubators, accelerators. Always before you start looking for funding, never say I have an idea, I need funding. Nobody will fund you. Only probably your family will say, oh, great idea, right? Oh, great idea. You want some help from us, we'll give you some money to start your business. That's all. For idea, you won't go beyond that. So please make sure, even if you are going for any small funding, before you don't go and talk about your idea, you always have to have a good business plan, because they'll ask you questions. So you have to make a good business plan. You just don't go haphazard, I have an idea in the mind, if I do this, if I do that, will it be successful? No. Have a written business plan. It can be small, 20 pages, 10 pages, that's okay. Absolute confidence in your idea. Now this part, most of the people who come, they have a lot of confidence in their idea. But believe me, whenever they come and say, I have a great idea and nobody else has got this idea, I say, buddy, just hold on. There are 6 people who have your idea and I listen to ideas every day, so I know you're not the first one. So never think that your idea is the first idea, because ideas are in the mind and there are people, how many billion people in the world? 8 billion? 8 billion, out of which 1.4 are in India, right? So don't ever think that your idea is the only idea and nobody else has got it. Everybody is getting ideas. So you consolidate it into a business plan, then have confidence in your idea, do a bit of research.
I have the same doubt. Suppose you said we have to patent our ideas, right?
Patent, no, you can't patent an idea. Yeah.
If we get an idea, we have to go for registering that through patent, right? Am I right?
No, you can't patent idea. Okay? You have to put it in either in a prototype, or if you are worried that by the time I do prototype somebody will copy, then you have to make a full design, show the functioning drawing, everything, and apply for provisional patents.
So if I am designing, will I come to know if is there anybody else with the
No.
same idea?
You can do your research. You may not know. When you give it to the patent office, they will do the research. And then they'll come and tell you, oh,
This is already there. They will tell
there
us.
or not there. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And they will take 5-6 years. It's a legal process. They'll do their search everywhere across the globe. It may take 4-5 years easily. Okay? Because you know legal processes take long, right? You go and fight a case, will any case get over? So applying for a patent is a legal case. But having said that, the day you apply for the patent, you will get application number. Right? Suppose I applied for a patent, I'll get an application number. So I can publish it anywhere now because I have already given it to patent office. I can write my patent number. I can write the patent number, application number, and I can start publishing because the date I applied, that is, I will be considered from that date. Anybody else who applies after that day, even if I don't get a patent till then, still I'll be considered the first. The day of the application is considered as the day of the patent start. If I get the patent, it starts from that day. Okay? Yeah. Apps cannot be patented. But circuits, layouts can be patented. Circuit layout. Algorithms cannot be patented, but if algorithm is put in a product, that product with that algorithm or the circuit layout, those things can be patented. Everything is not patentable. Apps and all cannot be patented. Okay? Yeah. I don't think that it's a patent because you have Telegram, you have other similar things. They just developed an app. All right? Somebody has raised a hand. Yeah, please go ahead. He won't get the name of being the generator of that idea. Not idea, he won't get the patent. The one who applied gets the patent first. The one who applied first. Okay? So make sure before your search begins, yeah. Yeah, even service also, you can put it in, like for example, suppose, just giving you an example, I've developed a service line which is unique, something HR line, but I have to again put it in a process. I'll have to put it in a process, either in a software or some process, and that process can be patented.
Ma'am, is it suggestive to produce the product into the market or release it without having a patent?
You can go, nobody stops you.
Is that suggestive?
No, but the thing is, if somebody has a patent for the similar thing, you will be put a fine. Then it is called infringement. That means you are infringing somebody's thing. So you will have to check up. You can't copy. Yeah.
What are the things which cannot be patented?
Many things are there which can't be. But you want me to, then I'll have to take a session on patents. That's not the agenda for today. If that was the agenda, I could have taken a full session on patents. Many things cannot be patented. Like for example, if I come out with a medicine, proper nice medicine, and I name it Chromin, I won't get that name. I won't get that name. That's also name is also intellectual property. Why? Because Chromin is very close to Crocin. So I won't get it. Okay. So if my product name also is very close to a well-known brand, I won't get the name.
It will be considered as a duplicate brand.
No, it's too close. It's so close that I can fool people. This is like in China, you will have all Apple products. But that is it's a copy. So once, for example, just to make it interesting for you, I think what was HTC phone. They came up with the design of the phone. Earlier it was square ends. Then later they saw Apple and they came with fine round ends. Immediately Apple put a case on them and got damages that you can't copy our design patent. No, logos, we call it as trademarks. If you have a trademark, I can't copy it. So neither I can copy trademark, nor I can copy even your, suppose like McDonald's writes, I'm loving it. I can't copy that sentence also. Whoever has copyrighted it, like Sony Entertainment has copyrighted why this cola very D. So anybody cannot use. And for all the youngsters, and of course for the teachers as well, the latest is, I've diverged from my topic, but because you're asking me, I can't help it. The latest is called as NFTs, if you have heard. They are digital products. Like Elon Musk has given a statement, tweet. Okay? Now this tweet is very interesting. So I can buy the tweet by paying, like if he's ready to sell, I can buy his tweet. That becomes a digital token I'm owning. This is the latest, okay? So if I'm owning this digital token, nobody can quote Elon Musk's tweet without my permission, because I've paid lots of money to Elon Musk for taking his tweet. Or any YouTube video, somebody made a YouTube video and put it, but I liked it very much, I want to own that video, then I can make an offer if he's willing to sell at millions of dollars, whatever I pay, and I take that YouTube video, will withdraw it from open source and keep it with me. If anybody wants, they have to pay me royalty to use the token. Photo, images, whatever is not in open source, that is belonging to somebody, we have to pay.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
That's called NFT, non-fungible token. It's a digital patent you can.
Yeah, ma'am, I have a doubt that there are many markets, right?
There are many?
Markets. So there are very niche markets, like small markets also, tiny markets. So the size of the market is like 300 or 400 crores only. So like many investors have a fear not to invest in such markets,
Yes.
because they won't make a profitable business from that. So is that true?
Absolutely true. The first thing we see is the market size. And I am so glad that these children are asking so many questions. Are asking the relevant questions too. So they will not. So you have to be prepared for good extensive market research. And to showcase that I have a large market, so even if I get 2-3% of the market as a startup, I will be making good business. So market is most important.
Ma'am, but like, then what should the people do who have made the business from the small market?
If it is a very niche market, you have to have deep pockets. You understood? If you are this deep, small niche market where your margin is very high, to get into that niche market, you need a lot of branding. So you have to spend a lot of money. Deep pockets are required. Investors will not, they prefer investing. You can have a niche market, but they prefer investing in a large market because chances of success are more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'll do is next 15 minutes, let me take this, then I'll come back to questions. Okay? Right? Okay. So you have to prepare a good pitch deck, you have to have a high quality business plan, confidence in yourself, and also you have to do extensive market research so as to be sure that your market is not cluttered, not saturated. That means I'm not getting into a product which is already commoditized. I hope you get my word. So today if I get into a market, I say I'm starting a business and making websites, it's a commoditized market. It's a commoditized market. Don't get into such a market. In 1990, if I said that I'm making websites, I would be the topmost player in the market. Today, nobody bothers. You can go on Shopify and make your own website. People will make website for 5,000 today. So what will be your margin? So don't get into that market. Get into the market where the innovation is recent, just 2-3 years old. That market, the curve is going up. It's a bell curve. Every product is a bell. It goes up, reaches a peak, then the product has a downfall. So if you don't innovate on time, the bell curve is always there. It's a bell. You have to get in when the curve is rising, not when it reached a peak or falling. If we get into a market where the product is not a rising product and the market is a falling market, 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100 you can't make good business. Okay. So, how do you find finance? We look for support for startups. Luckily, has never been stronger. Today, you youngsters especially are very, very lucky to be born at a time when the country is completely opening up and the narrative in the country is changing. So, some of you can actually go and see my, I think it's on YouTube, what does it take to be an entrepreneur? And I have only one saying that, you know, we all grew up listening to one sentence: if you don't study well, you will not get a job, right? Parents told us that, teachers told us that, friends told us that, everyone told us, if you don't study well, you will not get a job. So we never thought of anything else, okay? But you youngsters are born at a time when things have changed, narrative has changed, country wants more entrepreneurs, we are encouraging entrepreneurs, so you are bang on at the right time. So do your research, see what your passion is. Please it's not just about, I want to become a startup. No, you should have a passion. It's not an easy journey at all. Okay, the easiest thing will be, and everybody, I'm telling you, everybody from home, parents, teachers, everyone, and all the teachers, this is what we will tell. We have been telling this to our students, that if you don't study well, you don't get this mark, this mark, this mark, you will never get a job. We never gave an alternative that, no, there's an alternative to job. So now that narrative is luckily changing, and with all your tinkering labs and all this entrepreneurship encouragement, you are at the right time. So this is a cycle of finance generally. For any startup, the life cycle is like this. Yeah, so we start off with, when you make the product, you ideate and you make a product, and then you get into the market. You will see we are starting off with something called as valley of death. It can also be a valley of hope also, but generally in the startup world, 80 to 90% startups generally fail. That's okay. They come back, rebound back, but initially when they come with a product, it's a valley of death, you can see. Valley of death. Now here, your product is unknown to the market, you're bringing your product to the market. So when you're bringing your product to the market, you really don't know how people will take it. Will they like it? Will they not like it? I can tell you 100 products which were good, but they never saw the light of the day. For example, before YouTube, so many live streaming platforms were there, video streaming platforms. They didn't come. Why? One thing has gone wrong. For example, those video streaming platforms, they came at a time when internet penetration was low and internet speed was low. So they failed, and YouTube made it big because they came at a time when the speed was good, internet penetration was down to the small towns and villages. So everybody is watching YouTube, even in the village. They came at the right time. So there are many ifs and buts that can go wrong. Therefore, we call it as the valley of death. So in the valley of death time, when you're just coming with a product and trying to launch it in the market, who is going to fund you? At that point, we have something called FFF. This is FFF is a big saying in the startup world. We call them friends, family, fools. Yeah, fools, why do we call them? It's because somebody has to believe in you. So we are just calling this guy a fool. But he may be a very smart guy also. But we are calling him because right now you have no product, you have nothing, but still I have to believe you and give you the money, then I'm a fool. So friends, family, fools, laughingly we call them. And you will also have some people called angels. Of course, I'll come to each of them one by one. They are the only ones who will listen to your idea and say, nahi, isme dam hai, I can give this guy. Friends and family because they love you, they care for you. Angels because they are passionate about your idea. Angel investors, that's why we call them angels, okay? Angel investors, they come in because the idea is reverberating with them. That means something about your idea is liked by them and they are also passionate. They are also passionate. But they are not doing it blind. They are calculating and seeing, I think this is the next big thing, let me just take a risk on this. So that is about it. That is the first stage. Then comes the stage of the product where your product is rising in the market. You can see the blue line. Then you will have first, second, third, I mean slowly you keep rising. Then there comes a stagnation, so mezzanine, you need some funding just to get through the time there. So there's early stage, there's later stage, there is finally after a long time, once you're settled and out there, then you can think of the last stage. So in the rounds of VC and other funding, I'm trying to get little less technical, but still, so the VC funding, Series A, Series B, Series C, Series D, okay, they keep funding. Startup world is very different, okay. Now in the startup world, how the funding comes is not, what do we see in a company? Product should be nice, it should, all that we see, right? But even if they are in loss, it doesn't matter, they'll keep getting funding if the customer base is high. So like Flipkart, I mean 15 years down the line, they still haven't, they're just about becoming profitable, I guess. But that doesn't matter, funding will keep coming because they have customer base. So when one funding comes, the next funding comes and somebody or the other is investing in them. That's like an different kind of a stock market which is putting money in them. It's not stock market, people like us who are putting, it is investors who see something in that startup which keep putting. So they have Series 1, Series A, B, C, D, and it goes on. Finally, when they reach a stage, like for example, you have seen Nykaa, Paytm, Zomato, these people had reached a stage where they could go public. You have to satisfy some conditions, then only you can go. When I say go public, I mean you can float your shares in the market for general public. So Stock Exchange Board of India has some rules. Once you reach and comply with those rules, reach that level and you're all fine, then only you can go to the public market. That's the last stage, okay? So you can see public. And that's called secondary offering. That's secondary because the market is secondary. We are investing in a company and the company in turn is investing in some product or something. We are not directly investing in the product. We are investing through the stock market, okay? So the first way of funding yourself is called as bootstrapping. And this is the most common form. When you start your business, you will always have to do bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means putting your own money. Whatever your money you have, savings, you have worked for some time, you have built up some funds for yourself. Whatever you have, you put your own money, that's called as bootstrapping. Now this is slow and risky. So most of the startups will start with bootstrapping. There's no startup which can get funding from day one. Either it is FFF, family, friends and fools, or they are bootstrapping with their own money. That's the first way to start, okay? Now this is slow. Now you can continue. If you look at older times, when people started their business, literally either they went to banks to get loans, okay? If they had to put up a factory building or they had to start some business with machines, equipment, which needed heavy capital expenditure. You all understand capital expenditure, right? Heavy investment, factory, building space. Today, startup world doesn't need much capital expenditure because they're making apps, all that on the computer. So you don't need much capital. But earlier times, most of the business, even today in manufacturing and all that, if you have to set up a product and you have to set up all that, you need a factory, build, plant, machine, equipment, then it requires a lot of money. So what was the way out at that time? You would go to a traditional bank or something, non-banking. But in a startup world, bootstrap is you use your own money and you start initially. Your money, parents' money, whoever is willing to put in you, that kind of money you put in and you start. So next is your own money or friends and family, okay? So 38% of startups receive some funding from friends and family. This is encouraging because it gives you that little comfort which can help you start your business, right? Otherwise, who is going to put money in you? So what you can do is, if you have a strong business base with family and all, instead of them giving it to you out of love and care, which is really good, but if you want extended family also to put money, then what you should do is, you should make it like an equity. That means your friend and your family and friends are not lending you money, okay, you take the money or you just take it, okay, that hardly anybody will do, but yes, if your own kid or someone is trying, we will say, okay, take it and do what you want. But otherwise, if your extended family and other friends you want them to put, then you take money from them and give them a share in the business. That's called as equity. So say that for us, every share is 10 rupees and you are giving me 10 lakhs. So accordingly, how much? We'll give you this many shares, 1 lakh shares or whatever, if it is 10 rupees. And give them that. It has to be in a proper stamp paper and all that, you have to give them. Now, that paper can become toilet paper also, because the company may never go, or it can become something big also. So that's a huge risk. And that only some family and friends will take because they love you. Simple, right? As that paper can just be in the dustbin, because your thing may never take off, right? You will not be successful. At every stage that is there, but the highest risk is at this stage, because you're only at idea stage, okay? So that's friend and family. Third is crowdfunding. Have you heard of crowdfunding? So crowdfunding is like, you use a technology platform and then you put up, and there are already some crowdfunding platforms existing. So you can go through them, where you can ask public to put money either as a donation or as an equity. So it's like you put up the complete information about your startup, and somebody who is so passionate, oh, I love this startup and I want to encourage, even 5,000 rupees you can put. So like somebody is putting 5,000, and across India, so many people putting 5,000, that becomes a big amount. And that could be a donation, or it could be a small equity also. Very small equity share you could ask for, okay? So for example, crowdfunding, we have this Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. It is specific to very artistic and other types of startups, including animation and things like that. So all very, somebody said, it's not disruptive ideas, but it is creative ideas. This is focused on creative ideas. So this is a creative idea platform called Kickstarter. And what you can do is, if the Kickstarter, if you go on their platform, you can go on Google and check out Kickstarter platform. If you go, they will have so many pitches, startup pitches put up there. If you like anything, their amounts can start from as small as 5,000-10,000, and you can invest in one of the startups. Sometimes it's just donation also, but otherwise there is a equity also that can be given. And I was just telling you, the traditional form is always like lenders, bank and non-banking financial companies. Any question here now? Yes. If they have equity, then if the company does well, they will get some. Generally, donation is some kind of a relationship you can have with that company, but it's just something you're passionate and you want them to do it. So you are encouraging them to do it. Yeah. So that's why small amounts you can put, because it's a creative field and you want that particular art or anything. It can be, like I said, even digital animation and things like that. So actually in medical field only, crowdfunding earlier was a thing. You will see in newspaper many day, I have to have a cancer surgery or some kidney surgery, so I'm asking people to donate 150, so across so that same philosophy is used here for startup, where you're just donating there. Here you're donating someone for business, that's all, okay. So debt is always a loan, okay, and loan always has interest, and it can also have collateral security. Yes.
I have a question. You said like we get funding from our family and
Hmm. 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 When you have not started your business, the idea, there is no valuation. So it's just whatever you plan, 10 rupees ka share or whatever, on some basis, you are given 10 lakhs to me, against which I will give you this many shares. You want to do valuation and all, you can get, but there is nothing. When there is nothing, it's not easy to evaluate. It's just an idea, no, there's no valuation. Huh? Hmm. But who is going to give you that trillion? One person. You can't, na. When you see, valuation has a process. You should have the business running already to be valued. Just an idea cannot have valuation. Idea cannot have value. That 1 trillion only your dad will give you. That's all. Either he gives that inheritance or he'll give you directly. Okay, do startup. If you have not taken to the market also, the business should have some traction. That means you have onboarded, I won't say full-fledged customer, but some few customers have been onboarded. You have some projection you have to make. It's called as, I'm going to get 2% of the market next year, next to next year 2.5%, then 3%, then 4%. That 5-year projection you have to make. On the basis of the projection of your sales and your revenue, the valuation will be given.
Thank you, ma'am.
No, you have to use a financial analyst. You have to sit with him and do the projection. You cannot do it yourself. And your projection has to be on some assumptions. You can't, it can't be some dreamland you have done some, then everybody will show their valuation high. So you have, whatever you are saying that next year I am going to sell this much, that means my sale revenue is going to be this much, there has to be an assumption. What is the assumption? I will be capturing Telangana market for the first year, only Telangana. Next year, I am going to go to Karnataka and I am going to get this much share of the market in Karnataka. Then because of that, my revenue is going to increase. Third year, something else, I am going to keep increasing. But there has to be a solid assumption for every projection you make, or every, from projections will come valuation. Okay. So, yeah, debt is a loan. Okay. So I can go to a bank and take a loan, and today good amount of loans are available, but again, you know, banks, they are cumbersome in the sense that they also have to keep their accounts carefully. So generally they take a collateral security. That means house, paper, gold, any other factory, machine, equipment, you have to keep it as a security. Okay, against that security, they will give you a loan, which means to say, if you do not return the EMI on that loan, first month, second month, okay, third month, it becomes non-performing asset, they will start selling off your collateral, whatever they hold as a collateral. Okay, this is one. So you can take a loan, but bank loans are not, but bank also will see, if you're giving a collateral, it's easy to get a loan. Startups generally don't have collaterals. So there are some schemes like CGT, MSc scheme and all, under which they don't ask you for a collateral, but you have to show 3 years your financial statements that you are not in loss. At least you are getting some revenue. You are getting some revenue last 3 years, then only. If you have nothing, just idea, nobody will give you even a loan also. Okay? Yeah, even education loan they have to show that next I'm going to work from here, and from there the loan will keep getting repaid to you. Yeah. No, they will take full, that whole collateral belongs to them. In fact, sometimes the collateral is useless also for them, but they'll retain it. For example, you didn't pay your car EMI, they'll come and take your car away. Same. So what they do in the case of businesses, generally that's why, if you say I'm making an app, okay, and you go to a bank and say I've made an app, this app is having so much application, okay, theek hai, you made an app. What do you have? Do you have office? Do you have office space, building? What do you have? You say nothing, I have one computer on that cloud space, on that server, I made an app. I said, sorry. What will I recover from you if you don't win? I have nothing to recover. Completely, the land will go in the bank thing. You have to pay, and they usually wait for 3 months. First, second, third month, the asset becomes non-performing asset, NPA. It's a non-performing asset. Then it will become, until you, either you go and do some deal that I'm giving you, something has to be worked out.
I think his doubt was if he has put the land and it is worth costing beyond the loan what he has taken, will they take the app and they give back the money?
Yeah, so they, whatever, you don't need to give a collateral which is much higher. See, in any collateral, they'll keep a margin, because collateral value, land go up, come down. So there's a margin money, and the rest of the amount is given to you as a loan. But if your collateral is too huge, you don't need to give a huge collateral for getting a small loan. Right? So whatever is the collateral given, they'll start liquidating it. Yeah. I mean, you have to have that thing. What is the collateral you're keeping? That much worth only, keeping a margin, they will keep. Okay?
Ma'am, and is it better to issue debentures than going for a bank loan?
No. The thing is, if you put a debenture, who will buy? We don't know you, na? Why will we buy your debenture? And you cannot put a debenture, because shares and debentures can come only much later when the company is already settled and in the thing. Initially nothing, only share, private equity, this is just equity which you are giving, and people have to believe you and give you.
Okay ma'am, thank you.
That's why it's very important that they check. They do a lot of check before they give. Yeah. Coming. Okay? Yeah.
I have raised 1 crore rupees for 10% equity.
I have raised
1 crore rupees for 10% equity.
1 crore.
Yeah, for 10%. Okay, so the valuation will be of 10 crores. So now, when the investor will get an exit, that investor will get 2 or 3x money back.
Yes.
Right? So how will I get my equity back, or?
No, you got the money initially. He believed you and gave you the money. And he gave you the money at high risk, so high return. Right? So you probably promised him 2x, 3x, whatever. So if he put 1 lakh, he'll get 3 lakhs back. Simple. I mean, if whatever is the deal between you and the investor, that has to be written in a term sheet. Yeah. Not only that, some of the investors don't want to go like this. So what they say is, first year, you give me 20% loan, like a loan I'm giving you. That's called convertible note. Convertible note. Okay, so that means first year you give me 20% return. If the company is doing well, that money will second year be converted into an equity on some valuation.
Ma'am, like you said that we will have many rounds, like first round, second round, third round. So ma'am, like most of the equity will get diluted in that, right? Like 30-40%. So we'll have only 60 or 70%.
That
so
is
like
also very much. Sachin Bansal has only 5-6% of Flipkart today. Yeah.
Ma'am, but if we want to raise more money, then they will ask, why do you have such a less equity?
No, see, she asked a very valid question. Interesting. You can have 100% ownership and have zero value of your share. Okay? And you can have 5% of a company and have a huge amount because the share value is high. Now I'm starting the company, I'm the owner, single owner. I have 100%. So we call it as I'm the king, right? What king? The value of the share is zero. But I have 100%. Are you getting my point? I started my business, I have 100% shareholding. I didn't give to anybody and I took low whatever. I have 100%. Value of my share is zero.
Ma'am,
But I have to keep giving, the value of my company keeps going up as I keep giving equity out. Generally, we say that keep 51% with yourself. You can give out till 49. Why? Because if you have 51, you have controlling power.
And ma'am, like in Shark Tank, they said that equity is like gold. You should not waste it. So is that true or?
Yes, very true. Because you have to keep giving equity at different times. Slowly you have to give the equity away. So if you give in the first round only, 30% somebody takes off. You are left with how much? What did I say? 51 you should keep with yourself if you want controlling power. 21. Then next round again you will give to some investors. Then next round, then you won't be left anything to give if you want more funding. So equity is gold. Very carefully you have to give out equity. But you have to give it out. Either you hold 100% and be the king, or you hold less and be rich. You want to be king or rich, you have to decide.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
I know, I'll do that. Yes, true. Continuity is breaking. Okay, next 20 minutes, no questions. Okay, let me just continue. The next form of fund. So we did what? We did bootstrapping and friends, family, fools, FFF. Next is debt. This is traditional form. You go to a bank, you take a loan. Today there are many loans for women entrepreneurs, up to 2 crores almost without collateral you can apply. But you have to have a great business plan. You have to show financials for 3 years. That means you have to start and show I'm doing business 3 years, and you have to put up your business plan. And you can easily get a loan if you are a woman entrepreneur. So many men, they make their wives and sisters as the woman has to hold 51% of that company's stake and have at least some good number of women employees. Then it's called a woman-led enterprise. Loans are easier for that in that case. Then there is a mudra loan here. So what happens? High credit score, steady revenue you have to show, a lot of confidence. It means the woman has to pitch. It's not like somebody has put you in front because there's a man behind who is just saying, okay, it's easy to get a woman loan, so put her in front. She has to pitch, she has to be confident, and she has to show that she is a 51% owner of the company. She or any other women together, the women together have to have 51%, then it's a woman-led enterprise. The government can also offer, today we have something called mudra, from 50,000 to 50 lakhs loans are disbursed off for startups. Somebody asked for startups, small. Here also, I think they are mostly don't take collateral, but you have to have a good plan in place where you have to show the thing, okay? So there are 2-3 schemes for which collateral is not required if you are a startup, but you have to show good financials in the company, only then you get it. Otherwise, they will ask you to keep a collateral. So traditionally, they were also a loan, and then sometimes you have a loan, but you are expecting money to come in, but till the money comes in, there is a gap. So you need money to bridge loan. So the bridge loan was another, it traditionally comes under loan only, but it is given, annual rates can be 10% and above, quick and easy, and you say it's just a bridge loan, 6 months, 7 months I need it. So that is easier to get as a bridge loan. Okay, then comes the important, this is very important for students, it's called grants. Okay. Now grant, by the very name of the thing is, there is no returning. This is coming usually from government and some private organizations also. Okay. Some CSR grants also may come. CSR, you all know, corporate social responsibility. So some companies may, under CSR, they may give grants to either incubators or startups in the incubator. If the startup is doing some social initiative or something. But otherwise, government has their regular grants, and there are lots of grants today for students. But again, it's not like you just have an idea. You have to develop on the idea. And so what is happening is, the grant is an award, usually financial, given by an identity to a company to facilitate goal or incentivize their performance. And I'll just show you. So central government can give, state government, corporates can give. They have lots of challenges. If you hackathons and challenges, and if you win it, usually social cause has to be there a bit. It can be something like cleaning of lakes. It can be like women empowerment. It can be anything. If you can show a social initiative involved, climatic, reducing pollution, whatever it is, reducing some technique to reduce poverty or something like that, then you come under a social initiative and many more grants become available to you. Let's see some of them. Yeah, so these are the funding agencies which give grant. Many of them are not, this is not the entire list. There are many more, but I'm just telling you. So Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, then you have Aeronautics Research Development Board, Defense Metallurgical Research, they all come under DRDO. Then you have Atomic Energy Board. This is a lot for school children also, I think so. They have a couple of things. So Board of Research in Nuclear Science, National Board for Higher Mathematics. Now this is focused towards students, many of them. And students typically don't have collaterals. No? These are grants. They're just given to encourage entrepreneurship. Life Science Research Board. So I'm just giving a few. I'm not covering the entire. Ministry of Textiles. Any ministry and government you see, they have some funds for startups today. But these are most popular because we get a lot of funding from MEIT, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Each has their own agenda. If you're getting a fund under Department of Biotechnology, it has to be a biotechnology life science project. So any life science project you are doing, you will get. If it is MEIT, Ministry of it has to be electronic or information technology startup. Okay. AICT general, they can give agnostic grants and so on. Atomic energy will obviously give in that space and all those kind of things, research. So I'm, again, I'm not giving you the entire range because you can go on Google and check. I'm just giving you some examples. Like PRISM Technopreneur Promotion Program is there, it's called TEP. Multiply Grant Scheme. NASSCOM is a private body. So the first two are government. NASSCOM, 10,000 startups program is there, under which they select 10,000 startups and they have grants for a few. So under that, if you become eligible, the grant is given. Generally, when the grant is given, you don't have to return it, okay? But the incubator who is giving you the grant, generally grant is not given to the startup directly. Grant is always given to a third party like an incubator. So you have to be attached to a university or any incubator which is recognized by the government of India, and the money will come to the incubator. For example, we have University of Hyderabad, let's say. One of you got a grant. You have to identify which incubator would you want to be. 3 top incubator list you have to give. They'll assign you one incubator. The money, your money and grant will come to the incubator. Incubator will keep a check on your milestones. How are you progressing? How are you doing? You'll probably get a place to sit, and probably you may get a mentor from that university or educational institution. So for giving you all these services, against the grant, which is almost free, they may take 2 to 3% equity, or they may ask you to pay a rental on the facilities you use, the incubator, because they're giving you a mentor, they're giving you a place to sit and work, they're giving you lab facility. Those lab equipments are very expensive, and they are dispersing your money and giving, you have to send reports to the government. Where did you reach? So if you got a grant for 25 lakhs, first 5 lakhs will come. Then you have to send a report. Then you have to say, I've finished, proof of concept is done. That means my product, proof of concept, this is successfully done. So up till there, 5 lakhs will be given. Then prototype, another 10 lakhs may be given. So go to market, another. So that way they'll have some tranches and the money will be given in tranches, okay? But also depends on what you're gone for. If you're saying that I have to do proof of concept, maybe you will get only a 5 lakh grant. They can be small grants also. But you want to say I'm making a prototype, I need a 25 lakhs grant, you can get those kind of schemes are also there under the government, okay? So Unlimited India, these are private, zone startups private, MET Innovation Incubator in MET University private, Amrita TBI, this is Amrita University, they have a technology business incubator, TBI it's known as. So most of the people, most of the universities today and engineering colleges, especially engineering colleges, engineering, architecture, pharmacy, any technical college, by mandate they have to have an incubator. This is government mandate. So every engineering, architecture, pharma, any other technical, okay, technical, not this thing, have to have an incubator today. And for that they get grants from the government, okay. Now this is one of the most popular initiatives. It's called Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, okay. This is very popular because this is generally when you're starting off, getting funds even from angel investors, venture capital, somebody was asking me that question, is very, very difficult. You will not, no fund will be available to you, and that funds will come only after proof of concept has been provided. You all understand proof of concept, right? Like you're coming up with some product. So you have to have a POC, it is called, until your proof of concept that this product will work. This innovation, this invention, this research will actually work in the form of a product. Till that point, when your research innovation is done and your proof of concept is completed, till there, you will not have anybody who will fund you except these grants. So you have to write there, I'm looking for a proof of concept grant. So Startup India Seed Fund Scheme is a nice scheme. I think they give around 20 or 25 lakhs. It provides financial assistance to startups, and you have to clearly say, I want a proof of concept, prototype development, product trial, market entry, commercialization. So which stage are you and how much? And if you say prototype, you will get any one stage also you can get. You can also be at a market commercialization stage, still you can get the Startup India Seed Fund. The only thing is you should not have got funding from another government body. And this would enable these startups to graduate to a level where they'll be able to raise funds from outside, private, angel investors. Because no angel investor, even angel investors won't come until your product is out. So if it's in the mind, only a grant probably. So you can look for government grants which are dispersed through incubators. Am I clear till here? Okay. So that was the first one, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. It's quite popular today. And then you have something called PRISM. This is by the Ministry of Science and Technology. Key sectors are science and technology. This scheme provides grants, technical guidance, mentoring to individual innovators by incubating their idea towards the creation of enterprise phase. So you have to show that your product comes under science and technology, submit a report, and then if you get this, under DSIR, you can get a, it's called a PRISM thing, PRISM grant it is called, okay. So I'm not going into too many because that can become a bit boring to listen, but these schemes are available on the net, you can check it. There's another one called New Gen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. This is by the Ministry of Science and Technology. So the brief is that New Generation Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center is the program launched by National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board. It's called NSTDB. It comes under Department DST, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. and it is implemented by Entrepreneurship Development Institute at Ahmedabad. So in this, it aims to inculcate the spirit of innovation and amongst the youth, youth S&T students, encourage and support startup creation through guidance, mentorship, support. So this is probably new, it's called New Gen IED and would be established in, so this particular grant is given to the institutions. And through the institutions, they can support the school-based or college-based startups. Then you have a BIG, Biotechnology Ignition Grant. This is again given, this is under Department of Biotechnology. So if you have a life science project, biotechnology project, then under this you can apply for a grant, okay. This is a flagship scheme of, it's called BIRAC. BIRAC is the short form, Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. This council is under the Department of Biotechnology, and it supports entrepreneurs from ideation to proof of concept. But you have to show some research, you have done some innovation, some research paper, you have to submit your paper. This is what I want to do, like a research paper you have to submit. If they are happy and they feel that yes, this is something viable, then the grant is issued. Okay, so we are moving on from grants now. Okay, from grants we have moved on to angel investment. Okay, now angel investment is the first level of investment after the product proof of concept and everything is done. Maybe prototype also is not done, but at least your proof of concept is done. And the angel is somewhat satisfied, yes, this product can go to the market. That is when angel investors come in. They are generally individuals or networks, two things. I can be an angel investor and I can invest in a startup, my personal money. Okay, that is an individual. Or I can be a part of an angel network. Today you have angel networks. Okay, lots of angel networks are there. Indian Angel Network, Hyderabad Angel Network, Mumbai Angel Network, Marwadi Angel Network, Jain Angel Network, Jain Entrepreneurship, GTO it is called in Bombay. In Hyderabad you have Gujarati Angel Network, Marwadi Angel Network, they all made groups. So what happens is, in that, what you do is, you suppose startup will come and pitch. Once he pitches, we 10 angels are sitting and we are listening to the pitch. We like the idea. So out of 10, 5 like the idea. We'll raise our hands and we said we like the idea. Now whatever he wants, 10 lakhs, that will get divided amongst 5 and our risk will be only that much. So each of us will give 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs is over. 5 people, 2 lakhs. Otherwise I'll have to put 10 lakhs myself, the risk is very high on me. So through the network, my risk gets a little bit mitigated, hedged, because the network is investing, right? So 5 of us will put 2 lakhs and we'll put in one startup that way. So that is an angel network. Am I clear on angel network? So a lot of Hyderabad Angel Network, All India Angel Network, Mumbai Angel, Chennai Angel Network. We have lots of angel networks throughout the country, including, like I said, MAN, Marwadi Angel Network. We call it MAN. Then we have other angel networks as well. So the group will invest. Whoever has 10 people, only 5 may show interest. The other 5 want to invest in something. That's okay. The pie is divided, and you get a share of the pie. So they can angel investors can either do directly also 25 lakhs I can put if I'm very passionate, or if I want more share. I love the startup, let us say. I'm very sure this startup will do very well. Then I say, okay, no, I'm going to invest. You want 25 lakhs? Directly I'll invest. But for that 25 lakhs, because only proof of concept, nothing else is there, risk is very high, I can ask him, give me 25% share. At that time, I am having a greater power because they need the money badly. And for me, the risk is very high. So I can demand. Then finally, it will settle by a negotiation between the startup and the angel, individual. Okay. Then a term sheet is written. The term sheet is about how much will be given, how many tranches. First, nobody will give 25 lakhs like this. Please remember, in the startup world, any money, any loan, whatever it is, nowhere is it given in one go. It's always given in tranches, and every tranche has a milestone attached with it. Are you getting my point? So we'll say, we are issuing you initial 5 lakhs. Next 5 lakhs will come after you have done 3 things. Just note down your point, I'll take it. 3 things, when you finish, come back, then we'll release next 5 lakhs. These 2-3 things you finish, then next 5, like that we will. At any point, if they don't do, they stop doing, they have not reached milestone, we will not issue the next tranche, then we'll wait. And suppose for any mishap and they cannot go forward, the thing will be closed down, we will not give them anymore. So a lot of funding, if you promise 50 lakhs, they may end up only getting 25 in the end, because further tranches were stopped, because we didn't feel the startup could take it forward. Convertible debt, I just told this. So if I'm not sure about a startup, then what I'll do is I'll say, look, 1 year or 2 years, okay? Generally, investors are with the startup for 3 to 5 years. Nobody stays, they're not married forever, just 3 to 5 years only. So when they put in the money, they say for this 2 years or 1 year, because I'm not sure about your performance, please give me a fixed return, like a bank. So it is called as a debt, convertible. This is a debt. I'm giving you 25 lakhs or 10 lakhs, for which you give me 18 to 20% return. Generally, somewhere it may be 15 to 20% return. You have to give, it is on writing. After 1 year, after assessment, we will convert it into equity, which means to say that the first year, whatever it is, you have to give that much return. Then that principal amount, and at what if your the company is doing well, you can convert it, that same amount, now you can say, okay, convert it into equity. But if they're not doing well, you say, just give it back. Whatever I put, that much return I require. Okay? So that's angel. Next comes VC. There's a higher level. Okay? At this level of venture capitalist, VC funding it is called. The VC fund is itself a fund. Okay? So some couple of people, 5-10 people or even more, have invested in a fund and made 1 crore fund, 2 crores fund, whatever. That's a fund made by some investors. Now this fund in turn will give money to startups by assessing how good they are or not. Okay? But this will come only when you have already entered the market. They will not come before that, because we have no proof. We have entered the market, you have some 5-10 customers, okay, your product is accepted by the market, then they'll take a risk of giving you investment. So VC funding is at a higher level, and at the stage of the entrepreneur also will be at a level where he has already entered the market. Okay? They have to demonstrate that they are potential for long-term growth, real potential for impressive returns. Returns depend on success. VCs can often influence. Yeah. So when VC funding comes in, obviously it is only equity. There's no generally convertible debt and all. Generally it is a amount that they are giving. Okay? So they are very stringent on that we will give only once the company is already in the market. Then comes your incubators and your accelerators. So incubators help. So what do? They will take grants, and some incubators and institutions have their own grants also. So there are 2 ways in which they give grants to the student startups. One is you get a grant, you are working and they make you apply for a grant, and you get a grant from the government through the incubator. Some incubators have their own money also to put in. Okay? So there are some incubators who over the years have made their own corpus. So these incubators will also give some grants. But more than grants, they'll give you mentorship, which is very important, place to work on, workplace training, mentorship, hand-holding. So you can sit there, and especially in science-based startups, you can't have those experimentation equipment on your own. It's very expensive. Robotics, science, artificial intelligence, you need a lab. So the incubators give you that. Tomorrow, if you're making a molecule, to make that research, it will take you 5-6 years to come with one molecule. You have to do testing, clinical testing, animal testing, human testing, this testing, that testing. Then the molecule it takes 10 years. That's the reason why Government of India has made the definition of a startup They started with from the day you start 5 years, then they made it, then they made 7, now they have made it 10 years. That means if you are incorporated today, from today to 10 years you are considered a startup and you can avail of some of the initiative schemes and all of Startup India and whatever schemes are there. Why did they make it 10 years? Because in biotechnology, it can take you 10 years to come up with one molecule medicine. Because so many testings have to be done, no? So all these testings and all, by the time you come, it can be 10 years. Sorry? Yes, and then you have to do animal testing, human testings, clinical trials have to go on. So all that pre-phases, all those phases are there. And so therefore 10 years it may take in biotech startups, okay? Then accelerator. Accelerators are different from incubators. They don't give you any lab and any equipment. Incubators have to give you. That's why incubators are specific. You're a life science incubator, you're a biotechnology incubator, you're a IT information robotics incubator, because the equipment is there. But if in accelerators are business incubators. You get the point? They don't do any research, which they are helping you make business. So any accelerator generally is trying to accelerate your position in the market. So usually accelerators, they put money into you as well as take equity. And so if like for example, you have, let's say Amplify is an accelerator, they will select you on the basis of your startup, they will put money in you, they'll take equity and they will accelerate your process. Now the investors have their self-interest also, right? We have put money as an accelerator or as an investor, I have put money. So it is in my interest that I promote this startup. Naturally, so all of them, and that is a big thing in the startup world. If the investors want, they can make or break a startup. So if they have put money in a startup, they will definitely promote that. They will become what we say in the startup world, evangelist for the startup. Evangelist is one who promotes that startup. They become like marketeers, hustlers for the startup. This is one example of there are many. Accelerator is there, Y Combinator is there, and then what are the others? There are many accelerators in India, you can just check out the list. Then you have 100x VC, 100x VC, I mean they're VC but they are accelerators also. So generally people who have funds, they run accelerator programs also. When they take these startups, they promote them through some kind of structured program. Okay, now we are moving on. So I've told you about the startups. We are at 1.6. Okay. So let's just say when you are in ideation stage, these are the three. What you have to do: bootstrapping, self-financing. You can look at friends and family. And you can look at prize money by putting your ideas into hackathons, competitions, all India competitions. AICT gives money for business plan competitions, and there will be small grants, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh grants, small, not grants, prize money. So initially first the amount, when you are in idea stage, these are the three ways you can get money. Bootstrapping, your own money or your friend's family, or by pitching in hackathons and competitions and all, you can earn competition money. Then when you are in validation stage, we also call it as seed stage, seeding, okay? At that time, you can look at incubators, government loans and schemes, then you can look at angel investors, very few angel investors, but those who are passionate about your idea, they'll come forward and they'll take a lot of stake. They kind of become partners to you, because they are coming at an early stage, they are enthusiastic about your idea. So they put a lot of money, little money, but they take more stake because they are passionate about the idea. So they are almost like your partners. And crowdfunding. This is the seed stage at which you can look for money. Then comes early traction. That means when you're just about entered the market, we say you got traction. You have some customer, showcase some customer, that means you have early traction, okay? At this stage, VC will come in, the VCs will come in and Then you have banks also. In fact, you show some revenues are coming in. That means what do you mean by revenue? When you sell your product, you get revenue. Everyone knows that? So when a sale happens, revenue comes in. When you make the product, you incur cost. So generally your revenue should be more than your cost, then you're profitable, correct? So when you show that there's a positive revenue coming in, even if you are at a loss, it doesn't matter. If you can show that within next 2 years or so, I will break even. That means revenue will become equal to cost. That means my cost and revenue match. From here on, I will start making profit. So normally the question will be, okay, first you will be at a loss, not naturally. Why will you be at a loss? Because you are investing so much money, which is lump sum. 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs on your business you invested, you won't get revenue immediately. It will take you some time to make your sale. So first you will be lost. 1 year, 2 years, maybe. 6 months, some very fast they get. So that is called as the gestation period. When your break even comes, break even means revenue is equal to cost at that point. So you say my break even will come in 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years, whatever it is, or 6 months. After that I will make profit. So that has to be shown in a financial statement to the bank. And if you can show that your break even comes and your financial are profitable, and right now you're making revenues, even if you're in loss, your revenues are coming, that means you're doing sale, then they can project and say, okay, they can take that risk and give you some loan, okay? And debt. Venture funds can also give you debts other than equity. All of you understand the difference between equity and debt, right? In equity, you don't have to, in equity, the money comes to you, don't have to pay interest on that money. You have to give what? Shares. Okay? So if anybody, that's why startups like investors, because every month pressure is not there. If they have put money, yes, they can sit on your head, the investor. But otherwise, if they are given you the money, you don't have to repay them the money. Only when you make profits, the share of the profit you have to give them. So they are taking the ownership and the risk of you. The risk is taken by them. I say, you give me this much shares, 10%, I'm giving you so much lakhs, and for that you give me 10%. I'm taking the risk. That means you are taking the risk. If I lose, you lose. If I win, you win. If I get profit, you get profit. If you don't, you also don't. That is there. So that risk they have to take. So that's why they are light, because otherwise loan means every month there's an expenditure. You have to keep paying the bank return. Are you getting my point? Then when you are scaling up the company, so first is ideation, then is traction, then is scaling up. When you are scaling up, then again the VCs come in. For scale up, they are very happy to give you, because you have already proved in the market. What do you say? I've already got 5% of Andhra, Telangana market. Now I want to expand my business to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So I need more people, I need offices there, I need this, I want to expand. VCs will give you the money. Why? Because you have proved yourself in one place. So now you are only going to replicate and expand the model. So they will give you the money. Expansion. They'll come there. They won't come at idea seed stage. They'll come at growth stage, scaling up stage. Private equity is the other final end where you have become really big as a startup. Now they can be a merger, they can be an acquisition, and you're going, you're setting up global offices like your, so many of these, Byju's and all did it. So that time private equity comes in, but you should have reached either international market, VCs also will come in if you're going global. But P comes in at a still higher level. It's like where you're trying to find a startup which is, they don't give small money. Ps don't give small money. Even VCs don't, but Ps even larger. So they are not only giving you large amount of money, but they are going to sit there with you and help you make, like suppose you, let's say you're a startup, okay? again, I'm taking the example of Byju's. Of course, there's problem with Byju's. Now they have gone to a level where they are acquiring another edtech company in US. So there'll be a transaction period where they have to take. Byju's already took White Hat Junior, Akash Academy, White Hat Junior, and Great Learning. 3 companies they had acquired. So at that level, when you're acquiring, merging, and going global, P's will come in. Okay? And also when you're going exit, okay? So when you're going for IPO, international public, that is going to stock market, then also P's will come in. Or when you're exiting, that means your company is being acquired by somebody else. You will see many startups, they get acquired by Google, by Microsoft, by XYZ. So that's okay, that's part of the deal in startups. So when you're getting acquired also, again to do the proper transaction, you are getting an exit now, so you will look for a PE to help you with that. Then IPO, then when you are selling shares, investors might sell their equity or shares to either other venture capital or private equity funds. So when you're selling your shares away, at that point also, that's also called an exit. Buyback. Founders of a startup may also buy back their shares from fund investors if they consist of liquid assets to enable the purchase and wish to regain control. So sometimes you have given your equity to VCs and all. So how do you give them an exit? Every VC is there for an exit. Am I talking, are you following? Sorry. Everybody who gives you money, let's say a VC fund, will ask you what is the exit. That means 3 years now, how will you give me exit? So the startup has to say, either I'm going to go for next round, series A, series. So if I get money from the next round, I can pay back this people and say, okay, you can leave now. If they don't want to leave and continue, again have to revalue the value of their shares. That's a again technical thing. But generally people want to exit, 3 to 5 years maximum. So either you have to show them the path that we will get next round of funding, you will get an exit, or we will have another VC, or we will have enough money by ourselves to pay you off and you can exit. So exit is important in a startup. Okay, to summarize, we started off with types of funding when you have only idea and nothing more, grants, debt funding, which is again private, and so these are overall the 3 forms of funding: grants, debt and equity. Overall, grants, debt and equity, overall 3 forms. Then in every stage, there are these stages: ideation, validation, early traction, scaling, exit. These are the 5 stages of a startup. Institutionally, you can get grants from government, central government, state government, some corporates, CSR grants. Grants don't have to be paid back. Generally, in a grant, some small element of stake may be taken by an incubator, and you also have to show some little social good, little bit. Grants are given, just show, so, okay, one social angle is there, you can get Melinda Foundation's grant, this grant, that grant. There are so many grants available. So you can get, suppose you're doing some, like they were into vaccines, Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. So if you're showing you're doing a vaccine which can help the poor people, whatever it is, and they want to give you a grant, they'll give you. So they give you a grant, and yeah, generally against a grant, they don't take either equity or interest. Okay, it is just given because they want to push the cause for, like government wants to push entrepreneurship or push a certain area forward. Okay, so then grants are given. Then banks will give loans. Of course, you have to pay interest. Banks will not take any shareholding because it's not equity. So they will not interfere into your day-to-day operations, but you have to keep paying them the interest. Third is equity. In equity, you have to give away ownership of the company to somebody, some bit, 5%, 10%. So therefore, there will be interference in the decision making because they also are part owners of the company. You gave them shares, they are part owners, they took the risk and gave you the money. So there will be some interference, I would say, or it can be positive interference also. Generally, investors bring in positive what should I say, involvement, because their money is also there in the company. So they bring in positive involvement. And finally, you can see institutional funding, private funding, friends and family, angels, VC funding, private equity, crowdfunding. This is all private funding. That's all. Now we can go for questions. Thank you. Yeah. Now you can ask me. We have ask me anything. Maybe we can keep it for. We are at So till 1:30 we can do it. At 1:30 we have around 14 minutes or so. Yeah.
So is there any organization where we can do our funding where the investment is safe? It is better than FD.
Of course, one is like you are saying, stocks and shares.
Yes.
That is there, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Then there is mutual funds. Then there are real estate based mutual funds where they do real estate.
Yes, ma'am. Now my question is there any organization where I can fund those organizations where they look into the best startups where they have past returns very good, so that investors will feel
Like
safe
I
with
said,
their
now
money?
you can become an angel investor. You can fund through the network. You don't have to worry. The network will bring the startup. You listen to the pitch. If you like it, you can invest.
So is there any organization, ma'am, which
Many
you will
are
mention?
there. Venture Catalyst, Hyderabad Angel Network, Let's Venture. There are lot many.
So what do you suggest, ma'am, with your experience?
You want
Is
to
that-
become, then you have to pay them a fee, like some 30,000 a year.
Okay.
And you have to be sitting and listening to the pitches. You have to have understand about the startup.
No, the problem is, ma'am, with our, professional, so it's not possible to pay that much attention. So just
It
like
is
a partial.
as much as you have to, if you buy stocks and shares,
Yeah, we don't, look into their detailed things,
you
ma'am.
have to. You should know when to buy, when to sell. A little
No.
bit, if not too much. At least a little. Not on an everyday basis. So
Yes.
in angel funding, you can, you want to be aggressive on that, you can then listen. Every Saturdays, generally they'll have startup pitches online. You can just listen, get hang of it, and then decide whether you want to invest or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Google is a top company now, ma'am, in the search engine. And after that, ChatGPT came into the evolution, ma'am. So when ChatGPT came into the evolution, Google shares went down, ma'am.
Yeah.
So Google can take over ChatGPT now, ma'am. Like if ChatGPT owner is not willing to.
No, but I think Microsoft has taken some good share in ChatGPT. Microsoft has taken a good share in ChatGPT.
My question is, if he's not willing to give his company and they force him to take the company, can he protect himself from them?
Yeah, that's called a hostile takeover. Usually, they don't have hostile takeovers, but they give you an offer you can't refuse sometimes.
One more, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a property of 2.5 crores and I need 5 crores. Like I don't have the 50% of the property now. Will I get more investment? Like, is it just gaining the degree of trust?
If your property is worth 2.5 crores, you will get 10 to 20% margin will be retained, and the balance you can get as a loan.
Ma'am, what
That
if I
bank
need
will
more,
decide.
ma'am? Like, what if I need 5 crores and they won't give it? Should I just gain the degree of trust, or else is there any process, ma'am, to gain the full amount?
For what? If you want more
Yes, ma'am.
One is, you have an account in a bank, you are registered as a company, you have a loan, you have a deposit, a startup, a company account in a bank. Then one thing they can do, they can give you OD, but that won't be in crores, 25, 35 lakhs.
Okay.
OD overdraft. But that also after assessing you carefully.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
See, the loans are dependent on the bank and their assessment of you. If they assess that you are stable and you have something which they can recover, or you are a trusted customer and your track record is very this thing, they can give. That risk they can take at one go. They'll give you in tranches, yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, if I started a business, ma'am, if I started a business and I don't have enough money for that, and I need the funding amount of 25 crores for that.
Sorry?
25 crores, if possible. And in that,
You are putting in 25 crores.
I want 25 crores. In that, I am putting 10 to 15 crores. And the remaining which I want is 10 crores. So for that 10 crores, can I go for only a single startup project, or even should I visit more than one startup programs? Like different startup programs for earning the money?
Programs you can attend as many as you want to understand. How will you get the balance money? That I'm going to tell you. The best thing is to find another guy like you who has enough interest in that and tell him to become a co-founder.
Okay, ma'am.
And say, okay, you also put money. Get 2 people like that and tell them each put 1 CR. I'll have this much, you have 1. You have to have co-founder.
Ma'am, and even I have another question. So as a student I'm a student and I need to make a business. I have a business plan. So for executing that, I need a strategic, a help, ma'am. So from the grants. So instead of the marathons or the hackathons, what is the other ways which I can attend so that I can earn the money?
So you have to submit, go to the website, submit a proper proposal for your startup. Once your proposal, product, whatever they ask you in the format, that this is what, just today morning I got one message, one of my startup has got Startup India Seed Fund. So you have to put up your product, so till there you have to fund yourself, whatever it is. Once you put it up, or you say I'm proof of concept stage or this stage, your idea, properly put up your idea, submit it. If the body which is giving the grant, whether Department of Science and Technology or whichever, or Startup India is a separate thing under the Department for the Promotion of Industrial DPIIT it's called. If they are happy with your proposal, they'll give you the grant and tell you to get associated with the incubator giving 3 preferences. So you say, in Hyderabad today, there are 70 incubators.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
So you have to, wherever you say, I want to be in this place, that place, or they have a grant, they'll put you there, and then from that incubator, your grant will be routed.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Done. Okay, last one. No, you cannot. You cannot. Because you have given the loan on the second business. How can you go and touch the first one? It's like Vijay Mallya, what is this airline?
Kingfisher Airlines.
Kingfisher Airline.
Yeah.
Flopped. He could not pay his employees' salary.
Correct.
But his personal money, he celebrated his birthday on the island. How can you touch his personal money? That is his personal money. Morally, you can tell you are enjoying your birthday, your employees didn't get salary. Morally. But technically, that is his personal money, this is company money. Company has failed, you have not failed.
But don't you think, ma'am, this is taken as advantage by many politicians and many industrialists?
See, one thing please remember, everybody. In a sole proprietor company, you are the, okay, like Kirana shop. I'm the company, I'm the ex-owner. if I default or my kirana shop defaults, money can be taken from my personal account also, sole proprietor, okay? But if I am a private limited company or a limited liability, these are technical formats, then I and my company are two different entities. My company has defaulted. You cannot take money from my personal account, okay? From my company account, whatever assets are there, whatever money is in my company account, you can take. If I have defaulted, not my personal money. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Time for, yeah.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am.
Just a small announcement. Those who have questions could kindly stay back. Ma'am will also stay back. We'll start with the question answer sessions in a few minutes again. Okay. So for the time being, now I would like to request our nodal head AICTE, Mr. Vikas Verma, our principal sir, Dr. JVR Ravindra, Mr. Vishal Nair and Ms. Vishnu Priya from Vardhaman Foundation, Dr. J. Krishna Chaitanya, and Mr. Sai Sudhir on the stage. I would also request, Dr. Nandita to come on stage. I request the dignitaries on stage to kindly felicitate Dr. Nandita. Thank you so much, Dr. Nandita, for your valuable insights. Participants who have further questions to ask to her can kindly stay back. The rest of the participants can head towards the canteen for lunch. And there is also a small announcement. The participants who have submitted proofs related to the travel allowance to the AICTE are requested to get their hard copies and get them stapled along with the respective TA forms and resubmit it rather at the help desk. Thank you so much.